Hi guys, this is me Priya and welcome back to my channel. And we are finally back with episode 2 of Internet Made Me Do This. Yes, this is the drama edition. The first episode we did for Internet Made Me Do This was music edition where I reacted to all the songs I have been listening on the internet here and there in reels, in shorts and in everywhere. So there I reacted to music from different genres, languages, countries, which has been doing rounds on the internet. And today I'm back with a drama edition. So recently, not so recently actually, so I have been watching reels of this particular show on Instagram for a really long time, and I was just waiting. I was just holding myself for the show to be over so that I can binge watch. I don't like waiting for episodes, so I just wait for the last episode to air. So basically, I start watching a show on the last episode air date. So whatever is their last date, I start watching generally on that day because I love to binge watch. Same happened with this one. I waited for almost a month for this show to be over so that I can start watching it because I have been watching a lot of reels for this one. And yes, that made me super intrigued by the show. And after all this rant, let me just tell you the name of the show which I have watched because of the internet. And the name of the show is a Tempo, Heart That Skips a Beat. Yes, so this drama was released in end of 2024 and it ended in 2025, so I had to wait like pretty much more than a month for it to be over. And then I kind of forgot that I have to watch this one. But after again some time, my reels and shorts started giving me this ultimatum that Priya Mishra, you have this show to watch. Basically, there were so many reels and shorts again on my feed for this one. And this time I couldn't resist myself and I ended up binge watching this show, Tempo. I am still not clear with the pronunciation. You know, my Thai isn't great. Neither is my Hindi, so whatever. Let's just work with it. So, yeah, this is a Thai BL series which was released by this company called GMM TV. If you are aware about Thai BL industry, then you must be aware about this company as well. They are one of the biggest in the industry. That's the most you need to know right now about the company. So they release a lot of uh, dramas in all sorts of genres, and BL being one of their biggest and most noticeable genre. So yes, they released this show. I watched this one and it's safe to say I'm in love with this show. I'm in love with this show, and I'm in love with the dreamy feeling this show gives. But I am also in love with the reality checks this show gives, especially about the idol industry, the entertainment industry, and what goes behind everything. So, yeah. So, let me just jump onto my take about this show. So, I would say that the show is pretty well crafted, I would say. I am someone who has been binge watching actually, shows for quite a long time, especially like this Korean, Thai, Chinese drama or Japanese drama. I have been watching these shows for about 6 years now. So at this point, I consider myself a drama expert. Well, not really, but I just love and I enjoy. So with all that 6 years of drama watching experience, I can say that this show is really well crafted. And whether it's the performance, the direction, I even like the story. It's not very complicated, but it's not very cliche as well. So I liked it. It was a different take, and I generally don't see such love stories. So yes, that's why I liked it. And once I was done watching the show, I was left with this weird bittersweet feeling. And it was It was too much for me, and I almost rewatched the show because of that. So let's talk about the lead characters for this show. So as the name suggests, there are two main leads, Them and Poe. Them is played by William. William is a singer. He is a Thai pop idol, and he's the main vocal of this group Lycan. I mean, in reality, he wasn't an actor earlier. This is his first acting role. So yes, and this is the first time I have got to know William, and I must say I'm a fan. I'm flattered. I am a fangirl of him. He's so good. And I wasn't expecting anything from him because considering he's an idol, not an actor, so I wasn't expecting anything from him rather than just being good looking on the screen and kind of dancing well. That's all I was expecting. I was pleasantly surprised. And I am loving the fact that he proved me wrong. Okay, so moving to the next lead character, Poe. He is his character was played by actor Est Supa, and I have already seen him in few other supporting roles. And the most notable one for me was, I guess, he was in Cutie Pie. Like, it was Cutie Pie season 1, season 2, and then a spin-off, Naughty Babe. Like, three shows, they were like in the same uh universe. These three shows were created in same universe, so I have seen him in one of these. So I can't remember the exact name. In one of these three, either Cutie Pie season 1, season 2, or Naughty Babe, in these three. So yes, he played, I guess, someone's assistant. So I have seen him there, and when I watched him in the reels while scrolling, I was like, okay, I know him, and I guess I should watch this show because it's his first lead role, and I have already seen him in supporting roles, and I was kind of liking his acting, so I thought, let's give it a try. So yes, that's S. Supa who played Po. The entire scenario in the show is that they have this band, this imaginary band, obviously in the show, fictional band called Mars, and the lead singer or the leader of this band, Mars, Them, played by William, he is supposed to leave the group to debut in South Korea, and the group is about to disband, and they need someone who can just document their last concert journey. And here comes Po. Also, the dynamic between Them, the leader of the group Mars, and the entire group isn't great, and that is also because of his apparent debut in other country and the apparent disbandment of the group. Enters Poe in the scene. Poe is a photographer, and he is in a kind of a very unstable job position. He needs a stable job. He has been out of a toxic relationship with his ex, and he's currently single, trying to get his life back together. And his friend offers him this job where he has to be a documentary director for this group Mars for their last concert. And obviously no one knows that this will be their last concert, but yes, it was mentioned in the later part of the show. I'm just giving you spoilers. So when you watch the show, you will feel very well prepared for certain scenes. And there, the both the lead characters, Them and Poe, met once they are in the same scenario. And both of their lead characters' first encounter was like a blast. Yes, because thinks that Poe is a stalker or a sassing. So the first encounter of these two lead characters was a total blast, not in a good sense. So coming to Poe's character, he is a very shy, timid kind of guy who's in his own world. He smiles for the people, but he carries a certain level of pain in him, obviously because of his toxic ex relationship. And I would say that Supa, who plays this role of Poe, he has a very beautifully depicted the entire emotional roller coaster of the character so well. I mean, he portrayed the hesitations Poe has because of his previous relationship, and the hesitation he has before he enters a new one, a new relationship, the helplessness he feels in certain sequences, and the way he silently conveys his feelings through his expressions. And you will notice that Poe also speaks a little less majority of the scenes, like in majority of the scenes he's a guy who is very sweet and he doesn't talk much. And yeah, that's why in some scenes you will see him interacting little awkwardly when he meets new people. And I would say he, the real actor, the actor S Supa, he depicted all those things so beautifully. And at the end I was 100% convinced that he is not S, he is Poe. He made me believe in his character, so he did very well with his character. Also, he showed a great character development throughout the series, so kudos to that. Because he started out as a very insecure guy who is just so much traumatized to be in a new relationship, who was so much traumatized that he didn't even wanted to take a new job, and he thought that being a director will be too much of a responsibility and everything. But then he grows, he shows this character growth through the show where he becomes very confident about his feelings. He was more open to people, he become open to love again, and he was willing to take responsibility of his actions. And I really like that. For Thames character, I would say that it's obviously the person who played Thames character, William. It's his first role, so I wasn't expecting much. Pleasantly surprised. So he portrays the character of Idol who is struggling with a lot of things with his duty as the group member, and then his promise to debut in South Korea, and then his love life comes in between. So there is a lot going on, and William portrayed it really well. I mean, when I see his real life clips and then him acting in the show, I see two different people. He made me believe that he's him, and that too in his first acting role. He had great potential already. GMMTV made the right choice to cast him. For his character, he was very well able to showcase his life, his suffering, and the suffocating pressure he feels being a public figure, especially an idol. So I would say that he has done good job. For the show, I would say they're one of the most highlighted factor is that they are able to shed some light on the idol industry, the Thai pop idol industry, or even any idol industry, whether it's Thai pop idol, K-pop idol, Chinese idols, Japanese idols, basically idol industry, and how the idols have to go through so much of restrictions just to achieve their dreams. And restriction in the sense people think of those restrictions as their basic rights. For example, idols are restricted for certain diets, and we as normal people, we think good food is our right, but them they have to follow a certain diet. Idols are generally not allowed to date, and we as normal people, we consider it our right to find someone good to date, have a relationship, have a partner, and everything. So yes, on those aspects the show sheds a light, and oh my god, so well. And not only behind the scenes of idol industry, they have also tried to showcase a little bit of the business aspect of idol industry, how especially through the character of CEO Premika, who is the CEO of the management industry who manages Mars in this show. So the CEO actually showcases the ruthless business side of the idol industry, and she also portrayed her character really well. I mean, I was not able to decide that I should hate her or I should try to understand her, because whatever she takes decision as a CEO, I kind of understood the decision, but also it kind of made me hate her. I mean, hate her character, not her, but her character. So that is the kind of dilemma every business person in the idol industry would face, and that side was also showcased really well. And with all those behind the scenes sides, it kind of is an eye opening show. Like this show, we often see these idols smiling, dancing, and singing on stage, basically shining with that aura on the stage. But once the camera stops, it's not necessary that all those members of a group who were shown to be the best friends on stage will really be the best friends behind the camera. So yes, that's the reality of the idol industry, and that is what the show has tried to showcase, and they are somewhat successful in that. And not only that, they have also showcased the negative side of idol industry, especially fans perspective, because fame comes with their own set of problems, and one of those is toxic fan culture, obsessive fans, and they have tried to showcase that in this show, especially in the form of Pose a friend. I don't recall her name right now, but in the show she has been showcased as this huge fan of this group Mars, and her bias is Pepper, who will later on play a very crucial role. So yes, that side is also showcased, so I kind of um, see the whole perspective of this industry, the behind the scenes, the business aspect, also the fan culture, like what type of fan can be there. Like majority of the fans are like us, chill, we don't care, our idols date, just let them be, they have their life. But we can't deny that a certain percentage of fans can be toxic, can be obsessive, can be stalker like. So that side is also showcased in this show. Kudos to that. And that makes the whole storyline of this show like pretty relevant. Oh, I just recalled the name of Poe's friend who played as the fan of the group. Her name is Byfern. Byfern. So her character showcase a typical fan behavior, and even her character experiences a character growth throughout this show. So as I mentioned earlier, that Pepper, her bias, later on plays a crucial role. Why? Because it is revealed that he is into a relationship with some other girl, and the fans goes all against him. And even by Fern, Poe's a friend who is supposedly Mars' biggest fan and runs a fan page, she also goes against him because he dated. But later on, she also realizes that her favorite idols are also humans, and that she doesn't have a right to say anything about their relationship or who they date. So even her character showcases a growth over the entire show, which I appreciate. That they started out as showcasing the negative side of the fandom, and then they ended up showcasing the positive side as well. Lovely. Because what happens when shows showcase the negative side of the fandom, they forget that there are positive sides as well, which is a sense of community, a sense of belongingness, being for each other. Those are so much of the positive aspects, and people don't generally try to showcase that, which we as fans experience because obviously we are a part of the fandom, but yeah, are generally not showcased on the screen, which this show showcased negative and positive both. So yes, that is also a good thing, a positive aspect. So apart from the two main characters, Thim and Po, I also appreciate that they have tried to showcase the individual storylines for other supporting characters as well. One of them was the entire idol group of Mars, whose leader and lead singer is Thim, the lead one of the lead characters. So the other members' stories were also showcased, and they were given enough screen time considering they are supporting role characters. So even then, they have like their stories told. They are a part of the story. They have their own sides, and it is being showcased. So that is also a good aspect, because they have given spotlights to their supporting characters where it's needed, and their stories are being depicted so beautifully, and they have not tried to keep their stories lackluster. That is one of the best thing, because what happens when a storyline is given to a supporting character, directors or writers don't showcase so much enthusiasm creating their storyline to the T, but this show has tried to do that. I'm not saying all the storylines are perfect, but they have tried their best, and it shows. And I would say that this kind of thing should also be done with other shows, where supporting role, if they are getting their own storyline, then it should be at least worth watching. Like here in this show, it was worth watching. I never felt like I should skip a part. I didn't felt like skipping a part. So yes, I loved that thing. Also, I loved the character of Jun, who is also the member of the group Mars. He is Thames one of the closest friend, and how he tried to play Cupid between Thim and Po to help them realize their feelings. And he also behaves sometimes bratty, but I loved his character. He was one of the most fun character in the entire show. Him and the group's manager, they were one of the most fun character of the entire show, and I was laughing so much because of them. They were so fun. So, towards the ending, though the relationships were exposed in the public, and because of that, the group eventually had to leave their original management label, which is Oneers. But as you know, that the CEO, who was ruthless in the business throughout the show, was not that ruthless towards them when they decided to leave the company, which was a good thing, though it generally doesn't happen in real life, because we see a lot of idols fighting legal battles with their management labels to go to a new management label. Yes, it mostly doesn't happen in real life, but they have tried to give a kind of happy ending to the show. So yes, they made the band leave the company, and the CEO let them go and let them use their original name even when they created their own company. So I also liked this ending. I mean, they didn't give a 10 on 10 perfect ending, because obviously idol industry is not perfect, and they can't give a super unrealistic ending to a show. Even if it's a love story, it still has a certain aspect from reality. So yes, I really appreciate that they have tried to keep it as r- like real as possible. They still has to give a happy ending to the show, but still try to keep it closer to reality, like feasible feasible ending. They have given a feasible ending. It's not like a something which is completely untrue, or it is not like something which is not possible at all. It is possible. So that's why I earlier, when I first watched the ending, I was kind of unsure about the ending, but later when I rewatched the ending, then I understood the different aspects, and now I understand the ending. That yes, that could be the best ending for this one. That could be the best it they could have done to end the show on a very beautiful note. So at the end, I would say this show especially the love story portion of the show. Leaving the other aspects of the show aside, just the love story portion of the show, between Them and Poe, I would say it's more of a healing kind of love story. It's not like your love at first sight, oh I fell in love with you. No, not that kind of story. It's more like a slow romance. They develop feelings slowly, and not like boom, पहली नजर का प्यार. It was not that. So kind of slow burn but not so slow burn. That is the aspect I like. I'm not the one who likes the boom kind of love story. I like slow romance. So that's where the show becomes one of my top pick for the first half of the year, though first half hasn't ended yet, but still. And the two characters, Them and Poe. Them, who is kind of lost, and Poe, who is completely broken, and they are put into this frame where they're trying to find solace with each other. So apart from all the ups and downs and roller coaster of the storyline and the characters, one thing which stood as the backbone for the entire show is the music. Yes, the music and the visual, these two. So for visuals, I would say the whole show is shot in a way where it feels very dreamlike. Okay, it feels like I am living in a dream. It's real but it feels like dream, because the whole lighting and the setup is very warm. It feels very cozy. Even with the wide and big sets they have used, it still feels very warm and cozy, and it has that warmth in it. The entire tone of the scenes and the show is a very warm, very dreamlike, very smooth and soothing. The color selection, the whole color grading of the show is very very soothing to your eyes, and it doesn't feel like it's too much to take in visually. So that is the aspect which I liked. Even in a scene where they used a whole white hall for, I guess, shoot or practice or something, even in that scene, that white hall was not very visually stimulating. It was still very soothing, which doesn't generally happens with white venues. So yes, the color grading and the lighting of the show is top notch. I really loved it. It was breathtaking. Yes, that's the word. So I checked with few of the comments and reviews here and there, and I find that behind all that cinematic and dreamy, breathtaking shots is that the larger portion of this whole production team of the show is, I mean, including the director. I read it somewhere, okay? I'm not sure. Just check it for your own. So they are mostly women in the whole production crew and the director and everything. They're mostly women. And the softness of the show, the softness in the scenes and cinematography reflects that. And now, when I have read this, that most of the production crew are women, now I can kind of see it in the show. That's the soft touch of a woman, and that's how it can convert a show into a dreamy one. Now coming to the musical aspect, the OSTs. So one of my favorite OST from the entire show, I mean the entire show is packed is packed with soundtracks, because obviously the center theme is idol industry. The center theme is a group called Mars, and they are performing here and there in the show entirely. So there are many original tracks used in this entire show, and many of the tracks are group tracks which are for the group in the show Mars. So many of the tracks are group tracks for them, like they are actually performing these tracks in the show. So yes, the entire show is packed with tracks and music. However, one of the OST which stood out to me the most, and I love it. Even the music video of that OST is, so the music video itself is not related to the show. However, that OST is my favorite. So I'll just want you guys to listen to a little part of that OST. Though I wanted to attach a whole video here. I wanted to do a reaction video separately for the OST itself. But sorry to say, I won't be able to do it because I have seen many of the reactors who did that. Either their videos got blocked, or they had to put a whole sticker of copyright over the video or something. So yes, I just don't want to do that with my video. So I'll just play a little snippet for you. If that snippet makes it to the video, then congrats, you will be able to hear the song. Or else I'll just try to keep it within like 10 seconds and link the OST in the description box so that you can check it out for yourself. And yes, just a disclaimer, the music video of this OST is not at all related to the show. It's just a separate music video in itself, though it contains the real leading cast of the show. So here I play the little snippet of this song. OST, which is called 5 centimeter. And if you will watch the show, you will understand the title of this OST, 5 centimeter. Why 5 centimeter is so important for the show. It kind of became some viral moment from the show. So once you watch it, you will get the meaning. And yes, this was one of the OST. And other than that, there are many other tracks which are included in the show. Most of them are group tracks for the hypothetical band in the show Mars, and they are showcased performing those songs as band in the show itself. And I would say that music of this show itself is kind of a character itself in the show. I mean, basically shows they use their OSTs and music for uplifting the show. However, here in this one, the music, tracks, they are a cast itself. They are a part of the cast. They are the supporting characters who enhance the story. Yes, that's how music is important in this show. Also, through this one, I would say many global fans would get to know a little bit more about Thai pop itself. And K-pop and Japanese pop are pretty famous on global scale, but not Thai pop, at least not till now. And I think after this show, it has gained a little bit of momentum for the Thai pop fame. And this show is working well to enhance that phenomena, and it kind of cements that possibility that Thai pop can also get that level of momentum and fame on the global scale as it has got for K-pop and Japanese pop. So yeah, hoping for that day to come, because recently news has been announced in Indian subcontinent that a Thai pop group will be visiting India. I mean, there are high chances, and they have asked the fans to sign a kind of letter, petition, or I don't know what, request something. And as many fans as they'll be able to sign will increase the chances of that Thai pop group to visit India. And the poster, it doesn't show which group, it just shows silhouettes of 5 members, and the only 5 member Thai group I know right now is Lycan. Actually, I know other groups as well, for example Jasper, but Jasper has 4 members. And if Jasper would visit India, I would go crazy, because Jasper has 2 people in the group whom I like the most. Like, one, Jung, Jung Archin. He is my favorite, ultimate favorite. And the second one is Santa. There are other 2 members as well in the group. I am just less familiar with them. Though I know their names, but I'm less familiar. I haven't watched much of their work. But as for Jung, first I got to know him as an actor, then I got to know that he's a part of a Thai pop group, Jasper, as well. Same goes for Santa. I first got to know him as an actor, then as a singer. So yes, that's why these two, I love it. But Jung Archen, you're my favorite. Know that. Okay. As if he's gonna watch this one. but still. Also, with Jung Archen, it reminds me that in this show itself, Tempo, Jung Archen plays a cameo. He plays a cameo role in, like, I guess seventh or eighth episode. I'm not sure, but one of the episode he is there, and I instantly recognized him. So I was pleasantly surprised and happy. And yes, the bottom line is that this show kind of made me feel very fuzzy, and it left my heart full of so many emotions. Uh, and it felt like a BL version of fairy tale. Yes, this show felt like a BL version of fairy tale. And this show left me feeling that everyone deserves their own kind of a fairy tale, just like this show. So yes, now moving to the next segment for this video, I just wished to discuss few of the scenes from the show which I absolutely love, and I kind of watch them, rewatch them on repeat. So I'll just name, or I'll just mention a few scenes. I thought of finding out the episodes as well, but then that will be like really time consuming, and I don't think that anyone would stay on the video for more than an hour. Even an hour is too much to expect, but still, I just thought to keep it short, crisp, and simple, though my videos are never short, crisp or simple, because I just love to talk and yap, and especially if it's something I like, so I just love to yap. And then here are, like, I just wanted to mention the scenes. So the first scene, which actually cemented in here, is the scene where Thame sees Poe for the first time, and it's not somewhere in a setup. It's like Thame is walking out of an event, and Poe is there along with the fans taking his pictures, and Thim directly sees Poe, and their eyes are locked, and it it felt something, like it felt like a spark there, but just for a second. And then later on, Thim meets Poe in the office building as a documentary director, and thought of him as a stalker or a Sasing fan, which is like a obsessive stalker fan. So yes, that scene is actually cemented in here, because that 1 second or 2 second max interaction, not even interaction, look, was so impactful for Thame that he recognized Poe in one glance. Just imagine. I mean, if I see someone for 5 seconds in a room full of people, and then you'll ask me to recognize that person after few days, I won't be able to do it until and unless that person had made some great impact on my mind or heart. So yes, that's why that scene got imprinted here for me. The next scene is the scene where actually Thame visits Poe to the tailoring shop of his uncle, and suddenly he enters the shop, and the bell goes ringing on the door, and that bell sounds very mystical. It felt like, you know how in Bollywood movies it shows that when like, they show this scene where two people are falling in love, and there's this mystical background music going on, very lovely, very flowy. That bell felt like that. It felt mystical. It felt very stardusty kind of. I am just trying to find out good words to describe how I felt, and just good words to describe my emotions for the show. Also, the other scene which actually I loved is there one of the very first few conversation Thame and Poe have on a rooftop, and later on in the later part of the show, that rooftop goes on to become their meeting spot or talking spot or whatever. So their first conversation where Poe tries to explain Thame that how he shouldn't be leaving his group, or how he should be expressing more to his group, something like that. And Tim also discusses how he feels leaving his group. So yes, that scene is actually very important. It cements both of their trust in each other a little bit, because just before that conversation, Tim asked Poe to resign because he thought of him as a stalker. But after that conversation, the next day, he was like, okay, fine, do as you want. So he didn't ask Poe to resign again. So that's why that scene and that conversation goes on to become so important. Then the next scene, which is very monumental to the entire love story of Them and Poe, is one of the scene where they are trying to find out an archived song in the storeroom, and suddenly someone comes, and Them and Poe, they both hide in a very narrow space. It is very narrow, so much so that they are standing right in front of each other, and they have like this much, just this much difference or distance between them. So yes, that scene actually makes them feel that they do have something between them, and that there is a spark or there is some tension between them, not like stress wala tension, just other romantic tension. Okay, so yes, that scene kind of implements that thing for both of the characters, Them and Poe. And yes, from here itself, not from here itself, but this scene actually establishes them as a partners in the thing they're trying to achieve, to combine their band, to regroup their band again. The next scene, which I actually find really really cute and romantic at the same time, is one of the scene where Thame and Poe, they both are over call, and then they stay over the call throughout the night. At some point, Poe falls asleep, and when in the morning he wakes up, their call is still going on, though on the other side, Thame is still awake. Poe just wakes up, says hello, and Thame replies. And that scene is like so cute, so romantic. And even at that point, Thame didn't realize that he has feelings for Poe. Otherwise, why the heck would you stay over a call for 9 plus hours, bro? He needed to realize that, but he didn't until his friend poked him. His friend or one of the group member poked him. Then there are a few scenes where Thim either helps Poe cross the street or he drops him home. So these are the little scenes where they actually establish their trust, their emotions, their relationship, and that actually becomes the support system of their relationship over time. And then that one scene where first Thame goes to drop Poe home, and then Poe was like, let me drop you back on the bus stand. And then they go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, I don't know how many times. So yes, that scene is a funny as hell, but then it's romantic as hell. Also, the whole dynamic between Nut and Poe in the entire series, oh my god, funny, very funny. I loved their dynamic. And actually, Nut acts as a catalyst for Thame and Poe's relationship. If not for Nut, both of them would never have realized that they have feelings for each other. So Nut did a great job. Though while watching the show, I was like irritated with because of his character, because why the heck is he just getting in between these two? But then after the show, I'm like, no, it was needed. If not for him, they wouldn't have ended up together. So yes, he was a fab character. I just loved his interaction with Poe throughout the show, and because of these two interacting, him getting jealous, that's cherry on the top. The next scene which I actually love is the movie scene where I guess one of them invites the other for the movie, and Poe is waiting at the movie theater, and then Thim shows up like really late, really really late because of some issues. But Poe still waits, and though they didn't end up watching that movie, but then later on that movie played a crucial role, because they tried to watch it again at home twice, thrice, and multiple times, and they never could finish it. And don't ask me why, because for that you need to watch the series. Then another scene which is actually very funny. I really loved that scene that actually depicted how much Tim cared, felt for Poe. And yes, that scene was funny when Tim is there at Poe's apartment, and then suddenly Poe's friend Byfern, she visits him, and she gets suspicious that he has someone at home. He is hiding his lover, so she tries to check every corner of the house, just like a typical best friend who doesn't want her other friend to hide anything. So she checks the entire house, all the closet and everything. And once she was satisfied that there is no one, Poe somehow convinces her to leave. And then suddenly Tim was there in the cupboard, hiding behind the pile of clothes, and later realized those clothes are Poe's ex's clothes. So Thame just convinces Poe to throw away all his ex items and then replaces every item with his items. That was a funny scene. It was cute and funny. Also, the one scene which actually became monumental and which actually ended up naming the OST 5 centimeter is that one scene where Pose, where Thames groupmate Pepper, he describes how he maintains a 5 meter distance with his girlfriend when they are in public, so that the fans don't get to know that they are in relationship, just to avoid any suspicion. So he guides Thame and Poe to do the same, that maintain a 5 meter distance when you're in public, so people don't get to know you're in a relationship. And then in one of the rooftop scene towards the mid of the show or the end of the show, I'm not sure, uh Thame says that to Poe that it's very difficult for him to maintain that 5 meter distance. Even 5 centimeters seems like too much to him. It was like this whole dialogue was so cute, and actually that's why the main OST is named a 5 centimeter, because obviously even 5 centimeter is too much for both of them. So that's how the OST got titled. And then the other scene where the CEO get to know about both of their relation and how to save him from the media, she trades Pepper's love story and makes him the center of attention. So yes, that scene is very much of a highlight, because later on Pepper ended up breaking up with his girlfriend, so that the fans don't get angry on him, because in idol industry they expect idols to not date at all, to be single forever, to be available, as you say. However, obviously they can't be available to everyone, but then this leads to another scene which is very monumental and which actually depicts the idol industry and obsessive fan culture. Some of the obsessive fans is that when Pepper has to break up with his girlfriend, they conduct a press conference where he announces that he apologizes for being in a relationship. I don't know why they need to apologize, but yes, he did. So, and all his group mates are there, and they keep their hand on his back just to show their support. And then at that scene, many of the fans show happiness. I mean, it is a very critical scene. It criticizes the obsessive fan culture, where the fans feel happy if their idols are single, but they don't feel happy if their idols are happy with someone else. I don't understand that. If my favorite K-pop idol end up having a relationship or a wedding or a kid, I don't mind. I mean, they have their own life. They don't need to dedicate their life to me because just I'm a fan. So that's the thing. And I hope fans should understand that they are not available for you. They are their own human. They are people. They are just entertaining you. They're entertainers. They're artists, not your public property. Then the other scene which kind of broke me And I, someone who doesn't get emotional easily, I felt very emotional was when they broke up. When Tim and Poe broke up in the show, that scene that made me emotional because they both have tears and oh. So yeah, that scene made me emotional. And then after that, this thing is related to that when Thame gives his jacket to Poe to keep it after breakup, and later on in later part of the series, suddenly Poe, when Mrs. Thame just go to that jacket, try to see things and all that, and he finds a letter in the pocket, and that scene is very nice, very good. I really love that scene. And yes, while reading the letter, Poe just bawls his eyes out, and he realizes how much he loves him. And then the concert scene towards the end, the whole chaos in that episode, oh my god, I just love that. How they planned to save Them from leaving the company or the group without even him knowing, without actually even involving him in the plan. They helped him, the other members and Poe. Very good. I really loved it. However, that concert scene doesn't seem very realistic. Why? Because if something like that happens in a real life concert, it will be all over the headlines, it will be the national news, no, the global news. So yes, that is the only thing which I thought is very unrealistic. Not even not realistic, it's very unrealistic. It's just that it felt fitted in the show, in the scenario of the show. So yes, that's the thing. And then at the end, you watch the show, decide for yourself. These were my favorite scenes, or I would say the scenes which I am unable to forget from the show. There are many more scenes which are really really good, really really impactful and amazing, but these were the scenes which I actually I'm not able to forget. And then there is this one scene, oh my god, that scene. I'm not able to forget that scene. I don't think I'll ever be able to forget that scene ever. Because yes, I'll just insert the clip of that scene somewhere here, because if you don't know the scene, if you don't know the context, you'll be like, oh my god. So yes, I'll just try to add it here if I find that clip, or else I'll just add a link of that scene in the description box for you to see it completely, because that scene. I actually started watching the show because I got a reel of that scene itself. If I find that reel, I'll definitely attach that one, because that one reel got me watching this show. That reel is responsible for me to sit, I don't know how many hours, and watch this one, and then sit 1 plus hours to record this video. That one reel is responsible for that. So yeah, the bottom line is I loved this show. I probably will rewatch it. How many times? Don't ask me. Okay? Just guess the number in the comments. Okay? And whoever will guess the right number will get a shout out in my next video. Probably in my next internet made me do video. Okay? So yes, let me know in the comments how many times I might be rewatching it. And if you have watched this show, then drop down your feedback about the show, and how many stars will you give this show out of 10 in the comments. I would love to know what you think about this one. And then yeah, click on the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video, my rant, and all the scenes and spoilers about the show. So click on thumbs up, subscribe the channel, because I see most of you who watch my videos are not subscribed yet. Guys, please subscribe. What are you doing? Please subscribe, make me happy. And then share this video with anyone who enjoys Thai BLs, or who enjoys Asian shows in general, or who just enjoys someone yapping. Share it with them. And I'll see you in my next video. Then do not forget to take care of yourself and drop down more ideas of videos if you want me to make more such videos. Okay, tata, see you, take care, bye.